The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
This is the main event.
This is your main event, Mark's Podcast. I'm your first host, lifelong wrestling fan, former radio guy, cat dad, and I am once again asking for you to pay $9.99 for the WWE Network. I am Troy. And with me, as always, is the main event collector and figure hunting warrior. He is the WWE Walking Wrestling Encyclopedia and the Triple H to my corporate Kane. He is Greg. What's up, Greg?
That's the Triple H I want to forget.
He did what was best for business, Greg. Come on.
Well, he's doing it now and with grace and style, so give him that.
Yeah, legitimately now he is doing what's best for business. And everything I've seen coming out of WWE has been fire. So, nobody's going to bat 1,000. Nothing is going to be perfect, but it's pretty damn great.
Yeah, I still got Hit Row and Gable and Otis, so yeah, there's some clunkers on there still.
In his defense about the Hit Row thing, I mean, I can't defend him for keeping him around as long as he did, unless it's a long-ass contract. But people were saying they wanted him back, and it was kind of like there was a bit of an uprising for them online where it was like, man, I can't wait. I hope Hit Row lands somewhere good. I want to see Hit Row back. So we brought him back, and
but the fine print said we want Swerve back.
Yeah, right. Like I don't think everybody understood. It's like, no, you don't want Hit Row, you want Swerve. And well, he's off doing nothing over on the other channel right now. So there's that.
So we remind everybody that the big star is on the other channel.
You don't think about going the other way.
Yeah, right. The first thing is like when you see them perform, it's like, oh God, where's Swerve? Like, oh, he's off on the other channel. Okay. Oh man.
Talent left. They still have the voice and the look and whatever the hell Shotzi the Adonis is.
Yeah, right. Well, ladies and gents, today we're going back to 2014 for this year's SummerSlam. It's our last SummerSlam review of the month.
Summerfest.
Yes. This was I didn't realize how kind of popular this SummerSlam was for a couple different reasons. There were a few big things that happened here, and I'm like going through, and I'm sure you do because you're the main event collector, going through this show going, and they've made quite a few Mattel figures of these looks on this show.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay. I was like, I have this one. I've seen that one in stores. I have this one. There were quite a few of them. I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize, but at least from this time period.
One thing I just remember, too, for a while, this event wasn't on the network. They pulled it, I'm guessing, for some music rights.
Huh. That's weird.
Because there's somebody that we mutually know that was going off about it. I'm like, who cares about this one event? I know this was a big thing to him. Who cares?
Who cares, bro? Well, there wasn't any Japanese people.
Who cares about Los Angeles, bro?
Yeah, right.
It's all about New York, bro.
Was this during the time where every SummerSlam for I don't know how many years was in LA?
Yeah, and believe it or not, I didn't go to a single one of those. I don't know why.
Wow. No, but you went to, didn't you go to all the Brooklyn ones, or at least most of them, right?
3 of the 4.
Oh, okay.
I didn't go to 17 because mutual friend dragged my ass to Disneyland. I didn't want to go. Yeah, I guess I'll settle for Disneyland.
Yeah, right. Well, this one was during that time where, for those that don't remember, yeah, it was 4 or 5 years in a row they held it in LA, and then they held it in Brooklyn for, like you said, 4 years. And now they're just all over the map, which I think is cool. They're obviously
now they're in stadiums, so that's cool.
Right. And obviously, Greg and I were at the one in Detroit recently. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not complaining because obviously I want to go. But when I think vacation spots for SummerSlam, I'm not thinking Detroit. There's not
Miami, obviously LA and New York's been done.
Orlando. Yeah, I don't know. I would even say, didn't they do Tennessee last year?
They did, yeah.
Yeah, so that one I could see because there's actually quite a bit people don't think of like Tennessee as like a vacation spot, but depending on where you go, there's Memphis, there's Nashville, and there's Pigeon Forge / Gatlinburg. There's a lot to do down there, and it's treated like a big tourist destination. Detroit, nobody has ever been like, you want to go to Detroit on vacation?
Go blue.
Oh well, eat ass. Roman Reigns. No, it's Roman Reigns. He's going to give you the stink face.
That's a handsome man, at least.
Yeah, you're going to acknowledge his ass. But either way, I do have quite a bit of news and notes to share with you today, and quite a bit. I told you about this before we started recording, but I have actually quite a few Hulk Hogan related stories. He's back, baby.
Gee, I wonder what those are going to be.
Yeah, the tape, the famous tape, has not hit yet, so it's not involving that.
Oh. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, well, if it had hit, he wouldn't have been on the show. So he literally opens the show. He's cheered like a god as always. So I think as soon as that tape hit, they pulled his ass. They're like, nope. It is what it is. Our first story is very uncomfortable, but
that's funny. Like that stuff's happening today with all the stuff with Trump. Like what is with everybody like secretly taping everybody? I thought you can't do that.
Depends. It honestly depends on what state you're in. There are single party consent states like Texas and Ohio where only one single person being recorded has to know. Everybody else can be in the dark. They don't have to know.
I think that's some BS.
It's legal, and I mean, I don't know. I can see both sides of it because on one hand, yeah, if somebody's like screwing you over and you need evidence of it, there you go. On the other hand, it is kind of dirty. But if you're in a state like that, you kind of have to just be like, well, I could be being recorded, so don't say anything incriminating or effed up. I don't know. And then you got states like California and Florida you have both people being recorded have to know, or every single person being recorded has to know. I'm sure there are others. I'm sure New York is like that as well. But yeah, it's.
Well, my point was going to be too. It's like I'm not excusing what he did, but at the same time, it's like how many like heroes people everyone loves have said stuff that no one's heard.
Right.
They're going to hold one guy accountable for what was illegally recorded.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I only know a handful of people that are just like saints. Like everybody's done something in private or multiple things in private that it's like it's in private, and the people they're saying or doing the thing around, they will get it. It's in context. But if it was recorded and put out in the public, it would look really bad. So I don't know. It's I get it. It is a bit dirty doing that kind of crap. So unfortunately, people got to be on their guards. But either way, so we don't have a story about Hulk Hogan and racism, but we do have a story about racism right out the gate. It's pretty uncomfortable. We'll get into it here.
As opposed to the comfortable racism ones you bring up.
Exactly.
Okay.
But that's a nice lead in. We do want to thank the sponsor of the podcast. And now we're going to get into our first break. On the other end of this, we're diving into the news and notes. Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
By God, somebody's interrupting the Main Event Marks. Sit down, JR. It's just me, Kyle Sullivan, aka Shaggy Von Doom, your host of Here in Puckburg on the Hockey Podcast Network. I know, a hockey show on Main Event Marks. Who would have thought? This is an invasion angle. Somewhere between the Nexus and when WCW tried to invade WWE, somewhere in there. But I'm over here just telling you that one half of your tag team champions over here, Greg, he told his story of his love for the game of hockey over on my show. And if you'd like to hear that story, all you have to do is search Here in Puckburg wherever you get your podcast or on YouTube. In the meantime, Shagamania's got to go run wild on some other hockey show. So, just remember, quote the Raven, nevermore, take your vitamins, say your prayers, and oh yeah!
Get ready to rumble! in your new Main Event Marks merchandise. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, masks, hats, stickers, pins, and much more on our Redbubble store. That's maineventmarks.redbubble.com. You can also pick up some awesome clothing items with the latest updated show graphics on our Bonfire store. That's bonfire.com/store/main-event-marks. Support your favorite retro wrestling podcast and pick up some cool swag on our Bonfire and Redbubble stores. That's maineventmarks.redbubble.com and bonfire.com/store/main-event-marks. The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/main-event-marks. And we're back.
We're back.
If you're tuning into a wrestling podcast to hear about wrestling and you want it gimmick and politic free, you probably want the same out of your products. Are you ready to ditch the gimmick coffee? Coffee Brand Coffee is fresh roasted to order using only the highest quality coffee sourced direct from farms around the world. They've got bagged coffee as well as K-Cups. Not into coffee? Well, they've got great teas and cocos as well. At Coffee Brand Coffee, their head coffee roasters have mastered the art of unlocking flavors hidden inside their beans. Each batch is custom crafted and curated to accompany unique flavor profiles. Click on the link in the podcast description or go to coffeebrandcoffee.com and use our special promo code MAINEVENT, all one word, at checkout to get 5% off your order. That's coffeebrandcoffee.com and use the promo code MAINEVENT to save 5% at checkout. You cracking anything? There you go. I already cracked my monster. Yeah, I already cracked my monster. So.
Oh, yeah?
Now that sounds like an innuendo.
Oh, I already released the Kraken.
What are you drinking today?
Sparkling ice. What's it
you
called? Sparkling ice caffeine. Sugar-free. From the official store of the Main Event Marks, by the way. Do you remember what it is?
Dollar Tree. There it is. Yep. Gotta support that Dollar Tree, man. But either way, let's get into the news and notes. That is correct.
Shut the fuck up, Dave.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
The more recent stuff, I don't really pull from Dave, although every once in a while they will make references to Dave or somebody in the Observer.
Well, actually.
Yeah, right. But this first story I got here, the PW Torch has gone on record stating talks with a WWE employee alleging a racist culture behind the scenes in WWE that apparently includes Vince McMahon giving his private jet a racially offensive nickname. I'm kind of curious as to what it is now. Like, what the hell did he name it?
No, you're gonna leave us hanging? I want to know what it is too.
Yeah. Oh man, I might have to Google that. But in addition, Vince apparently tries to teach black wrestlers how to, quote, be more black, whatever that means.
What the hell? Because when I think of someone being black, I think of Vince McMahon.
Yeah, like, if this is true, I wish I was a fly on the wall to see these, quote unquote, classes. Like, what is Vince McMahon getting up there? Is like, no, damn it, you got to be like this, and then he's like,
remember when
out.
Remember he dropped the N-bomb in front of Booker to John Cena, I think it was.
Yep.
But I guess it wasn't the quote unquote bad N-bomb. I mean,
hey, I had an A at the end.
That was on live TV, by the way, so it wasn't like somebody just had on tape delay and let in. So,
yeah. Let's see. Trying to think. So I'm not getting any hits here. On the Googs.
That's probably fake.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Something about doesn't. Okay. It's the best thing I got here is Freddie Prinze Jr. says that Vince McMahon doesn't allow anyone to poop on his private plane while in the air.
I mean, is that a bad rule?
I mean, like, okay.
I don't know that I would hold anyone accountable for that one.
God dang it, pal. When we're in the air, don't drop one. We can't, like, open a window. I mean, it's true.
Yeah, it's not something I'm gonna hold over his head. I don't think.
Yeah, right. Other than that, I'm like finding stuff about like racist scripts and whatever, but nothing specific about his jet. I don't know. The Be More Black stuff, talking to the black wrestlers, that one gets me though. The creative team is made up of almost entirely white men, with the exception of Dave Kapoor, who you may know as Ranjan Singh. Anybody that doesn't know, that's the guy who used to be, he used to follow around Great Khali. He was like his manager or whatever. He talked for him.
His brother.
Yeah. Oh, wait, is it really?
That's what he said on TV.
Well, it's alleged that, God, I feel
Allegedly.
I don't even want to read this one, but it's alleged that his nickname among some of the agents within the company
Tread lightly on this one.
His nickname among the agents is allegedly Taliban.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Dude, if you're calling someone Taliban, God,
That's disgusting.
and he's Indian. Not that that makes it better, but good God. Like, do they know that the Taliban isn't from India? Again, not that it makes it better if he was not Indian. Good God.
Oh, we're
man.
just being geographically correct here, what we're doing.
Right.
See, we're fun and educational.
This is about that time. We're like I said, we're going to talk about Hulk Hogan coming back and whatnot, but Sting is expected to meet with Vince McMahon during this weekend of SummerSlam. A deal may finally be finalized for him to sign with WWE officially.
Okay, we'll give him that.
Yeah. So I guess what we can say is
That is correct.
so. Was it 2015? He comes, or no? It's by Survivor Series, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple months from this.
Yeah. And somebody else, speaking of people jumping ship from Impact/TNA, Kurt Angle is apparently trying to work out a deal with WWE that would see him work a decreased schedule so that he could do big shows, but not much else. It does not appear, however, that WWE is biting at all, at least right now, and Vince McMahon has been negative on bringing Angle back ever since he left the company back in 2006.
We'll give him half credit on that one.
Yeah, he doesn't come back until 2017?
I want to say 17.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little while still. And
Wait, is it?
something because
Isn't he he's the GM of SmackDown when Foley's the GM of Raw, right? Was that? No, it was him and Shane. Never mind. So it's later.
Something like that. Yeah. Well, it was him and Paige were the GMs together, and I think before
that was definitely 2018 because we were there when they announced Paige. Remember?
Yeah, and he wrestled at WrestleMania 30.
19 or in 2019. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was back when he could still kind of go, and then apparently he hurt himself really bad, and then decided to go on a horrible retirement tour.
Yeah.
Like every single one of the matches just kept getting worse and worse. I'm like, man, this is painful.
You don't say that often about him.
I know. And then he comes out afterwards. He's like, well, I had a severe injury. And it's like, well, then
Is that what Tanahashi's going to say?
Yeah. It's like, I get it. I mean, he did look like he was wrestling hurt, but it's like, maybe postpone it then? Because he was like, no, I got to wrap it up now. Do you, though? Like, couldn't you just, wait to get that taken care of and then come back?
Well, he could have just not wrestled at all, you know.
Oh, no. Then we wouldn't have gotten those matches that we want to forget.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be like you and I talk about the famous return for Shawn Michaels in Saudi Arabia. Well, he could have just not wrestled at all. It's like, you mean that was an option?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll take that.
Right. This one is well, you don't have to be Nostradamus for this one, but WWE is apparently pretty high on Kevin Steen, hence the big announcement of his signing and initial push that it's a big deal. In addition, yeah,
well, no, that's going to play out.
Yeah, right. In addition, the Wrestling Observer has said Dean Ambrose has been told to stop doing the cannonball in the corner move so that Steen can use it as a trademark spot when he gets up to the main roster. That could mean that he'll be called up sooner rather than later.
That's going to play nice.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get called up really soon, but then again, he doesn't like sit down in NXT for too long. I think it's less than a year, isn't it?
Wait a minute. This is 2014?
Yeah.
But he's already on
come
the
in.
main roster. Oh, no, you're talking about
No.
Steen. Never mind. I'm on Ambrose.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so Steen comes in.
He would
2015?
wrestle at the next SummerSlam when we were there, so it's coming up pretty quick within the year.
Was he? Because I remember when he first, like, quote unquote, came up to the main roster, he was NXT champion. So he was
hot
still.
shot.
Yeah, he was still going back and forth between NXT and main roster.
Right,
But-
because he was on the main roster when he wrestled Finn Balor at the Takeover we were at.
Right. And the thing with him is what I was shocked about was he was not a man. Wait till Triple H gets in charge and he's going to be a big deal. Vince McMahon loved him too.
He main evented 2 WrestleManias in a row, so yeah, clearly.
He is not like, you would not look at him and think, oh, that's a Vince McMahon guy right there. Like, he looks like exactly the opposite of a Vince McMahon guy.
Damn it, pal, he's fat.
He's fat. He's bearded. He's fishy white. God dang it. Main event in WrestleMania.
He's fat!
But you know what? He did.
Against one of the biggest stars he's ever had, and the greatest tag team of all time. So it's not too shabby of a resume either.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah, you'd think he'd walk in the room and Vince McMahon would just be like,
He's fat!
or like Jim Cornette says, he goes, "Ha ha, good rip, pal. Kick his ass out. What are we really doing?"
yeah. God dang it. You can't put that on the WrestleMania poster. God
That's what he
dang it.
That's what he said that they would say if they were like to book someone against 20 security guards like AEW did Wardlow. So here's a nice little bonus check. What are we really doing, pal? It was a good rib.
Yeah, right. Figured he'd do like the same thing he did with like, according to Bruce Pritchard, this was something he did to Cornette himself one
Everybody's
time.
got a story about him.
Yeah. Well, Pritchard said one time Vince McMahon like grabbed Jim Cornette and like shoved him back and like acted like he was disgusted. He's like, oh God, I sunk into you.
What the hell?
Oh man. But yeah, Kevin Steen's had himself, like we've talked about this before, Kevin Owens, whatever the hell. He's had himself, like, you want to talk about a bucket list career in WWE, man, like right there.
He basically debuted against Cena. Like he debuted against the biggest star on the damn planet at the time.
Had multiple great matches against him. He's held, I think, pretty much damn near every belt that company has. Has he been IC champ? I forget.
Championship, pal. No, I think that's the one he's missing. Him and
Okay.
Sheamus, that's the only one they're missing.
Yeah, right. And ironic because people like when people think, oh, greatest of all time, like people don't put like Owens up there, just like they don't put Sheamus up there. But an argument can be made. They're in the top 5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Let me
know.
just double check this because someone actually,
Yeah, right.
I know he won the United States title because I was there when he won it.
Right. Yeah, I remember he started wearing red, white, and blue because that was a thing for a while.
It was the face of America.
Every time you hold a U.S. title, or the U.S. title,
You know-
you must wear red, white, and blue.
Technically, red, white, blue is the color of French, and he's French. So, I mean, there's that.
Well, hillbilly French, but yeah, sure. French Canadians are going to get pissed I said that, but I mean, I've heard
He
it.
was the Intercontinental champion twice.
Really?
I have no freaking recollection of that.
Either.
Hang on. I got to go
Neither
look at
do
the history to see who he beat.
Who did he ever beat?
I'm looking right now. Hold on. I'm like lost. I don't remember that at all. Also, NXT
Yeah.
champion, Universal champion, Intercontinental champion, United States champion, tag champion. 16th
Yeah,
Grand Slam
no.
champion.
All right, then.
So he's literally never held the WWE title. That's it.
Yeah. He's held the title that's now merged with the WWE title. So
All right. Okay,
good
hold
enough,
on.
I guess.
I'm looking here. Hold on.
I'm sure he will be WWE champion, before the end of all this. I like, by the way, that they didn't just like split them titles up again. They just created a third world title.
Yep.
Like, okay. Triple H had to get himself a big gold in there, didn't he? Just had to.
Let's see. Okay, so he beat Tyler Breeze, Stardust, and Dolph Ziggler and Ambrose in a fatal 5-way match.
Oh God, that's the most like before I'd say like 20 teens WWE thing I've ever heard.
I don't know how the hell I forgot this, dude. I'm kicking myself. How the hell did I miss this?
Yeah. So he's done everything. He's had big matches at big pay-per-views against John Cena.
Looking for
He's
the
held
second
every
one.
title. He main evented WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's main evented multiple WrestleManias now, headlined multiple pay-per-views, was a world tag champion with his best friend. I mean, like, just bucket lists, man.
Actually, that last one was all he ever wanted.
Yeah, right.
And it looks like he also beat Ryback.
Oh, God.
So
that's a feather in the cap. Yeah, right. Again, bucket list, man. I'm telling you.
I don't want to remember Ryback being champion, so I would chalk it up to that's why I didn't know Owens won that title. I try to black him out, but
I do remember him being champion. I don't remember anything about his run. I just remember him being champion. But yeah.
They bring Bret Hart in to praise him like it meant something.
Oh, Ryback?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I have zero memory of that, but
yeah, well, again, Ryback, but
right. On YouTube, the Tube of You, Ryan Fritz of BetweenTheRopes.com featured him interviewing Hulk Hogan with Dave Meltzer. I'm sure
good Lord, talk about me losing my respect for somebody.
You're talking to Uncle Dave, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, right.
Well, you got that.
You just know that the BS was
You're a
just
dick.
Flying with this interview, man. You're sitting there. You're just sitting there the whole time, like
liar, whore, and you know it.
Of course, to Hogan, but anyway,
he's telling Hogan, hey, you know when you body slammed Andre, the Bucks were being born in Rancho Cucamonga.
Exactly. Well, everything in wrestling is judged based on how far from a point in the Bucks' life it happened.
Right.
But Hogan explained that his desire to wrestle again, or explains rather his desire to wrestle again, has been driven by watching old tapes of his from WCW and TNA. He called his matches in the dying days of WCW embarrassing, and those in TNA a nightmare. Well,
that is correct.
He's speaking for himself for the fans.
Yes. Hogan acknowledges that neither Vince McMahon nor Triple H wants him to wrestle again, but nevertheless, his goal is
he also acknowledge Roman Reigns?
No, not yet. But nevertheless, his goal is to still get back in the WWE ring. Good God, thank God that like cooler heads prevail and like
Kenny Omega, it didn't happen.
Yeah, right. I can just imagine that now, where he's like, "Well, you know, brother, I want to get back in the ring one more time," and Vince is like, "Ha ha, good shit, pal. That's gonna be a no for me, brother."
It's a no for me, dog. I can't.
Uncle Dave bluntly puts it that, or to the Hulkster, that he's trying to get a match with John Cena this year, which he immediately denies before calling that the best case scenario and something that would happen in a perfect world. I mean, is it though? I mean, sure.
I mean, that's two of the biggest stars they've ever had. So I guess in a perfect world, they're both healthy. Yeah.
Right. But good Lord, I know John Cena's a real effing man, but I don't even think he can carry that on his back. Like, and I'm not talking about like Hogan in his prime. I'm talking about Hogan in 2014, people.
Yeah, we've seen Shawn Michaels, the Undertaker, greats come make an ass of themselves later. So what do you think Hogan did?
Yeah, Cena probably looked at that and was like, I'm good.
You got to give credit where credit's due, though. Sting still looks fairly decent.
Well, yeah. Well, Sting also didn't F himself up as much as Hogan did. I mean, Hogan is effed up. Like, he is FUBAR at this point, man. Like, so there you go. Well, right here, Hogan admitted that he has genetic arthritis in his elbows and toes, which would be, which he would need to get rid of to be able to face Cena at WrestleMania 31 next year.
He would be at WrestleMania 31.
Yeah,
not wrestling, but
so would Sting, as you just mentioned. Sting is that one man that like Triple H had that hit list marking everybody off the WCW roster, and he's like, "Damn it, gotta get Sting." And did you believe that Triple H was there? Like, he's like, "Did you sign him?" Yes. You know, I'm getting him at WrestleMania, right? I'm pinning his ass. Buried. Sting was like, yeah.
I mean, I get why, but
yeah. Sting was like, so, yeah, whatever. Is my check in the mail?
He never did a damn thing to them either. It's like, watch anything he ever did on Nitro. There's no ever shots of WWE ever.
Nope. But he was the face of WCW. I mean, you had Ric Flair, you had Goldberg, you had Hogan. But let's face it, I mean, they called him the franchise for a reason. He was the guy that Vince could not steal all the way from the Crockett era up until literally the day it died. So
Ric Flair's been on record saying he wished Sting would have went earlier.
if he would have, he probably wouldn't have got buried by Vince. He probably would have been like a big star. He had
He would have been the Warrior
look.
spot, and it probably would have been even better, honestly. But
Yeah, they would have probably stuck with Sting because Sting. I mean, the Warrior had like a
you got the
charisma.
wrong Blade Runner.
Yeah, right. Well, Sting had that like charisma to him and he was halfway decent in the ring, whereas the Warrior, he was
What do you mean
charismatic.
halfway?
Well, you know what I mean. But the thing is, the Warrior is one of them, and I like the Warrior. Where I don't crap on him as much as other people do, but it's one of them where it's like once you've seen it, and you tune back in, you see it again, you're like, yeah, it was better last time. Plus the fact that, I mean, not to speak ill of the dead, but it's pretty common knowledge at this point, he was a huge Richard. Like, the locker room didn't like him. He was crappy to the fans.
This has been confirmed from like 100 million sources, too.
Dude, he got in trouble for screaming at a kid asking for an autograph. So, and Hogan was, not Hogan, Undertaker. Undertaker said he saw it happen, where he's like cussing out a kid who asked him for an autograph at an airport. Meanwhile, by the way, like Undertaker said, he's like, I'm trying to be incognito. He's like, I'm a big dude. But he's like, I'm in all black. I got my hat pulled down, sunglasses on, so nobody recognizes
as
me.
well as he wants to imagine it, that's not incognito. If you're a 7-foot dude, almost 400 pounds at the time, you're not incognito.
Yeah, it's about as good as he could do, but yeah. But he said, the Warrior, he's like, he's got freaking airbrush, jackets on, got the muscles out and whatever, sunglasses on, his hair all crazy. And he was like, he's a walking billboard. And then he's angry that people approach him. He's like, what?
That check you cashed? You're welcome.
Yeah, right. But staying with Hulk Hogan, responding to Steve Austin's opinion, saying that he was a bigger legend than the Hulkster in a Q&A session with Yahoo Sports, Hogan dissed Stone Cold by implying that he was delusional. He said, quote, I think that's in his own mind. My career was twice as long as his. I've been a main eventer I've been a main eventer since 1978 when we sold out Shea Stadium. Okay, who's we? I mean, yeah, you were there, but Andre sold it out in 78. I mean,
he can have 87 though.
Yeah, 78. I'm sorry, Hulk. You didn't sell it out. You were there with Andre. Like, just to be fair here. But
so all these events that they sold out are gone now.
I know, right?
That's sad.
They continued.
Like, if it was there, you'd be driving my ass over to the Pontiac Silverdome when we get there.
Oh yeah,
if it was still there,
dude, I would go in a heartbeat. I want to see that thing.
We can go see the Amazon company. It is now.
Yeah, right. This is where Hogan body slammed Andre. right in that that warehouse over there.
In the Prime section.
Right. But he continued, I just totally disagree with him. I know he had a good run when he was in the Attitude Era. I don't know how long the Attitude Era was. 4 years, 8 years. I don't know how long it was. That's where we totally disagree. Maybe he and I should lock up and figure this thing out. That would be a nice match, end quote. I
love both guys, but no, it wouldn't have.
Yeah. I will say this. When Hogan made his return to WWE, I think they could have had they could have had a passable match, I think. Like, it would have been straight brawling, but...
Said he got the other megastar.
Yeah, right. And he had a good match with The Rock, or great match with The Rock. But I think he could have pulled a great one out with Austin, too. I don't know. I mean, Austin did, like, in his own way, revolutionize the business. And he, like, just sheer money, I think they said he did make more money than Hogan in his prime, adjusted for inflation and whatever. But to Hogan's point, he was on top longer in multiple companies.
I blame Owen Hart.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is with,
go Google it if you don't know what it is, folks.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not crapping on the dead. I'm not. I would never.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying there. Yeah. But the thing with Hogan is, yeah, he kind of helped bring wrestling into prime time and in like the limelight and everything.
Along with Cyndi Lauper.
Right. And yeah, Vince obviously did most of it, but he had to have a hood ornament, a star. And Hogan was it. There you go. But there's more news on the Hulkster. Hulk Hogan recently sat down with Grantland. I don't know what that is, but either way, to discuss Grantland, whatever. I have no idea what it is.
How do you spell it?
Grantland.
Oh,
It's
Grant. I was looking at Grant.
Sports and pop culture website.
It's associated with ESPN. That's all you got to know.
Yeah. So there, it's first name Grantland.com. If anybody checks it out.
There's an article here about how Grantland died. ESPN killed us today.
Wow. Okay then. So it's old. But anyway,
pushing up daisies. War food. When should I have stopped?
Tits up.
He makes it worse.
Yep. Hulk Hogan recently sat down with Grantland to discuss the death of Ultimate Warrior and his final encounter with him at WrestleMania 30. Ultimate Warrior's widow, Dana, saw the video and responded with a statement on Facebook. Quote, "I've been really quiet since the passing of my husband and the father of my girls. Someone sent me what Mr. Balea had to say in video interview with Grantland yesterday, and I would just like to ask him to stop. He is the only person in the WWE universe who did not give a call or send a card. My girls asked why he didn't check on us like everyone else, and I explained simply there isn't a camera at our mailbox or in our house when we receive our calls." Wow. Damn. I would ask respectfully, Mr. Balea, for you to understand my girl's hurt and just let some time pass before you say anything more. End quote. Whew. A little harsh, but from her side of it, yeah, I mean, you're the only. I'm going to say she's exaggerating, saying, "Well, he's the only one," but at the same time, it's like you didn't like call, text, send a card. Like, my condolences, whatever. I mean, again, Dollar Tree. You can get it for $1.25.
Official store, the main event marks.
Exactly. You can get a, my condolences card and send it. I mean, something. I don't know. But then again, I also don't think that he needs the widow's permission to talk about one of his former coworkers in an interview.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I am today's years old when I heard about this story, and I'm taking it with a grain of salt.
I can always tell your lead-ins, man. How I'm gonna understand it.
Well, I'm taking this one with a big grain of salt, and you'll see why. But former UFC title contender Chael Sonnen was a guest on the Talk Is Jericho podcast and told an interesting story about getting a call from WWE shortly after he was suspended for 2 years by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Quote, wow. Yeah. I got a call about 2 days after I was suspended. WWE executive calls me up and says, "Hey, we read what you're going through, and we just want you to know that we're not interested." Well, why did you call me? You know? That's what I'm thinking. This is kind of a new phone for me. It's kind of a new number. You had to go through some work to get my number. So I just said, "Thanks." He goes, "Listen, if you were 24 years old, we'd give you a contract and you would be making a whole jackpot full of money." That's the term he used. He goes, "By your age, we just don't want you." So I'm just thinking, why did they call? Then
did they really? He's also a known liar, too.
Yep. Well, he says, then comes why they called. They go, "But we think TNA is going to be calling you, and if they do, then we want back in the game." End quote.
Yeah.
I'm sure WWE was like, "Damn it, we can't let TNA snipe Chael Sonnen."
The guy who just cheated and still couldn't win the fight. Keep that in mind.
And got suspended for 2 years. To wrap it up, by the way, Sonnen was suspended on July 23rd, effectively retiring from MMA in the process. Did he retire? Didn't he pop up in Bellator?
He did pop up in Bellator. I think he lost to, was it Tito?
Probably.
I think so.
That sounds right. Good God.
Yeah, Bellator, I love taking the old dudes, putting them in the fights.
Yeah, that's the retirement home for MMA.
That apparently Tony caught my own one day.
Yep.
Oh man.
Instead of
it all plays.
Instead of snagging the people that leave WWE, now he's just snagging the old fighters who are too old to make it in UFC anymore.
If I knew anything about soccer, I would assume that his He also does that for a soccer team.
Yeah, that's sad. But now that Guardians of the Galaxy has taken the box office by storm, and wow, all these
that ages right.
Yeah, right.
The damn sequels have done it too.
Yep. And Dave Bautista, who plays Drax in the movie, is all but finished up with his promotional duties for the film. He should be returning to WWE anytime. In doing media, he was asked who he wants to work with when he comes back. He's still pushing the line that he wants to retire after a match with Triple H at WrestleMania. So
that is correct.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, not this year, but it does happen.
Oh, it happens a couple years later.
Yeah,
5 years?
33?
35.
35? Oh, okay. But he also said, quote, I also have a real close friend, Thaddeus Bullard, who is Titus O'Neil, and he's actually a really close friend. I think there is a lot that remains to be seen from him, and I don't think they're doing him justice. They aren't really using him to his full ability, and I'd love to be that guy that kind of brings him up to the next level. So if I could accomplish that, that would be great, end quote.
All right, where do you want to start with that?
Nah. Like, Batista, last time we saw you, you were over the hill, okay? You ain't elevating Titus O'Neil. Like, I don't even think John Cena had the pull to elevate Titus O'Neil, okay? That just wasn't happening. I will say, I enjoy his commentary. I think he's a pretty good color commentator.
He's a genuinely good human being, too, so there's that.
Yeah, I think he's a great dude. I think he screwed himself, putting his hands on Vince McMahon that one time, even if he was just messing around. It was kind of a unnecessary thing to do. But even past that, though, I don't know. It's not like he was going to go anywhere or do anything great. I still think he's a great ambassador for him, and like I said, he's a fairly entertaining color commentator. So I enjoy his stuff. But speaking of movie stars, Dean Ambrose will headline the film Lockdown, coming from WWE Studios.
A couple of TNA lockdowns around the archives, by the way.
Yeah, quite a few of them. Go check them out. But Lockdown, I did not watch that one, but it looked like a parody of a movie.
I don't remember what it was.
They were in a prison, and it had Dolph Ziggler and Lana, I believe, and just they squeezed a bunch of wrestlers, and it looked like it was half comedy, half serious kind of deal. I don't know. It just looked dumb. I was like, wow, this is what Dean Ambrose is getting himself up to now. But explaining that...
Did he play the part of a plumber?
Say what?
Did he play the part of a plumber?
No, God. But explaining that Alberto Del Rio is owned by WWE, the former ADR, real name Alberto Rodriguez, confirmed that Digale Ola El Patron will in fact be his new ring name.
That just rolls right off the tongue, huh?
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, I gotta hit him with... He's just Alberto El Patron. It ends up being. But it's based in part on Ricardo Rodriguez's introduction of him in WWE. Ricardo also called his former kayfabe employer El Patron while working on Spanish language commentary. For those who don't speak Spanish, El Patron means the boss. There you go. But, man, we...
Ironically, there'll be somebody that used the name the boss is far better than him later. But whatever.
Yeah. Well, I guess getting into this story, I should play the lead up here. What's going on in Mexico?
Vampiro, Conan, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we got it. Move on.
2014? No. WWE are enforcing Rey Mysterio's contract and the no-compete clauses on Alberto Del Rio's deal after rumors that AAA invited Mysterio to appear on their biggest show of the year, Triple Mania, and wanted Del Rio to wrestle at the event. Yeah. So AAA initially were advertising Alberto Rodriguez under his WWE trademarked name of Alberto Del Rio and courting the disgruntled Rey Mysterio whilst he was still under contract to WWE. Oh, my God. That's
How stupid you got to be.
this stupid, apparently. AAA President Joaquin Roldan was quick to point out that Rey Mysterio is currently a WWE contracted superstar and that they aren't talking to him and wouldn't tamper with his contract. Oh, no, not at all. But you know who's not contracted by WWE is Conan. So, Conan could be a go-between for them. And
Probably was.
Yeah, well, I got to preface this.
Allegedly!
He was going back and forth between AAA and Rey Mysterio because he could and Rey couldn't legally. So that was their workaround.
It'll all work out.
Yeah, and now he's back in the old WWE. And
his son is one of the greatest heels on the planet, so there's that.
Yep. Old apron bump, by the way. Somebody was saying something about the feud he's in isn't taken off or something like that, or they're bored with it or something like that.
Cody, really?
Yeah, and he said, oh yeah, it was the Cody thing, and they said I'm kind of bored with it. It doesn't feel right, whatever. And Kyle from Apron Bump said because Dom is boring.
Right.
I don't know. Take that.
I respectfully disagree.
Yeah. So that's an opinion. But anyway,
I think everything he's doing is fantastic.
I never thought he was a great wrestler. Like anytime I see it, he's not bad. I'm not.
He's
like,
gonna look
man,
amazing on Saturday. But
yeah, I'm sure. Well,
Cody's great though. But
I just, like I said, I don't think he's trash. I don't think he's bad. I've never seen him wrestle, and I'm like, man, Dom did great. It's like the other guy did great, and Dom was there.
I think the match with Ray at WrestleMania was damn good.
Yeah, it was, but I mean.
He's kind of an acquired taste, though, too.
Right. But as far as Del Rio, to wrap this up, he can appear on the show, but not actually wrestle. Well, that's a workaround there. Oy. What a mess. Why the hell would you do this to yourself? That's just dumb.
You say that about a lot of people for a lot of different reasons.
Right. This just seems like shooting yourself in the foot and then getting mad that your foot hurts afterwards.
Why can't I walk?
Getting into TNA here.
Oh, God.
Well, the future
this is one of the worst years in the history of that company, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely up there, faux show. But while the future of TNA on Spike TV remains uncertain and a new television deal has yet to be revealed, the company announced that Impact will be moving from its usual Thursday night time slot to Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, starting on August 20th. I don't think this lasts very long, because don't they get crap canned right off the network?
They eventually moved to Tuesday and then back to Thursday between 3 different networks, I believe.
On Spike? Or,
no, 3 different networks. It was Spike. I don't know what the next one was, but then it was Anthem. They were owned by Anthem, right?
Yeah.
What was that channel that nobody has?
Pop TV.
It wasn't HDNet, because that's
Destination America.
Yeah, Destination, and then HDNet, which is now Access TV.
Well, okay, so I was curious about this, so I had to look it up. This is their final year on Spike, so they're gone, and then they get picked up. They get picked up by Destination America in 2015, and then they go to Pop from 2016 to 2019. I forgot about Pop. Yeah, and then they go to the Pursuit channel for a bit in 2019.
Holy crap! I missed a lot of them. Okay.
They're on 3 different networks in 2019. So they're on Pop to start 2019. Then they go to the Pursuit channel, and then they go to Access TV and Twitch. Yeah.
I don't remember them ever being on Twitch, but unless it was like a simulcast, which I wouldn't really count as a new network. But
so let's see. Try to figure out.
When SmackDown bumps around all those networks, it's because it's so popular, everyone wants it. This is like, yeah, you take it.
Yeah, right. This is, let's see, January 7th, 2015 was one of the final ones. What's it? Oh, the show ceased airing new television events after the addition of November 19th of this year. So only a couple months away, man. And the reason that they get kicked off of Spike TV is because Spike told them, We don't want Vince Russo involved anymore. Dixie Carter said, sure thing, no more Vince Russo. And then she still hired him behind their backs and like an idiot did like a reply all in an email to Vince Russo and the heads of Spike TV talking about Vince being employed.
Well, idiots with emails almost ran this country. Keep that in mind. So it happens.
Dude, we have talked about some stupid ass people already on this show. Like, god dang, man. We have a story about Vince Russo coming up here in a minute.
Bro!
Real quick, though. TNA Tag Team Champion, I remember this. Davey Richards broke his leg during a ladder match during a slide spot in where his leg got caught in the mat. Given how far in advance Impact is taped, it's unclear at this point if he and Eddie Edwards will be stripped of the belts or if they'll just stall for his 4 to 6 weeks of rehab to clear him for action. I think they do drop the belts. If I remember correctly. God dang it, pal. But, yeah. I remember this happening. I thought his leg got caught in the ladder. But this is saying he
that might make more sense.
Yeah, but this is saying he slid and his leg got caught. Which makes him like the second person to do something similar to that in TNA. The first one, unfortunately, passed away from a blood clot afterwards. Is Chris Candido. We reviewed the show that happened on. It was
Lockdown, which I just plugged. So
it was at 05?
That's 2 plugs for our Lockdown shows now.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why.
It was Lockdown 05, right? The very first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a weird ass match where it was like, why is this even happening? And then in retrospect, you're like, man, this match should have never happened.
Yep.
But here's a story I was teasing. Vince Russo recently justified his decision not to review TNA Impact anymore. Oh no. We don't get to hear we don't get to hear Russo's opinion on Impact? What will we do?
That reminds me of something. I think you know what I'm talking about, but
yeah. Well,
I will not be doing a Grand Theft Auto review. Remember we lost our minds?
Oh, yeah. Check this justification out, by the way. You're gonna be like, what the F? Coming from him. So he wrote, quote, first and foremost, I cannot condone the extreme and excessive man-on-woman violence that I saw on last week's episode. Even though I am fully aware that wrestling is a work, Thursday's act went beyond even my moral values. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it was done. And just as I refused to write for that particular episode, I now choose to stop writing about the product entirely. End quote.
That's a bow on this with saying he was a born-again Christian now?
Yeah.
Did he say that at least?
No.
Because, I mean, if he said that, I could maybe buy it, but
even then, like, really?
No, totally. But don't change their life like that. They notice their stupid crap in the past. But.
Well, supposedly he was a born-again Christian way before this. Then he booked Abyss chokeslamming Daphne through barbed wire. But no,
I didn't know. I don't know the timeline on that. Okay, I'll believe you.
Yeah, supposedly I guess he was a born-again Christian right around the time TNA started, I want to say. So.
And yet he came up with the name TNA.
Yep. And he came out calling himself the Antichrist Pro Wrestling and whatever. And I get that it's it's all for show. But I mean, there's supposed to be a certain moral standard that you uphold, when you're a born-again Christian. You don't see Sting and AJ Styles saying and doing that kind of stuff. Just putting that out there. But anyway, yeah, this is just...
I can't condone the man-on-woman violence, said Vince Russo.
Yeah. Like, that's like saying that would be like John Moxley complaining that there are too many death matches on the card.
I don't condone much blood.
Yeah, right. There were way too many people bleeding on this card. I'm supposed to bleed that much, damn it. I think Russo's like, bro, I don't condone man and woman violence that I don't personally book, bro.
Anymore.
Yeah, right. My line in the sand is I didn't book it, bro.
I might even be able to respect him if he said that.
I couldn't, because it's like, oh, well, I didn't book it, therefore it's bad. Shut the F up, man.
You could have said, I didn't book it because I would have done this at least.
Yeah. Last story I got here. This is going to lead into quite a few things, but there are increased talks of New Japan and Ring of Honor doing more talent exchanges, including possibly a show in Japan next year. Yeah, you and I recently, just in January, we reviewed...
That's got to at least go as far as WrestleMania 35.
Yeah.
Because I was at that show in the Garden.
Exactly. Yeah, it goes on.
That Switchblade Jay White single-handedly sold out. He'll tell you.
No, dude. Matt Taven sold it out. We've been over this.
Was the champion. So.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Or no, he won the championship.
We reviewed earlier this year in January, New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 8 took place in January of 2014, and Jay Lethal defended the ROH title on the card. So, I want to say that
the
was
greatest first-generation wrestler of all time.
Exactly. Was that the...
Who never gets any TV time today.
Yeah.
I'm bitter about that.
I may have quoted the wrong one. Okay, so it was the wrong one. I'm sorry. We did a couple of them. So it was Wrestle Kingdom 10 in 2016. So yeah, so they do keep up their. It actually builds to the point of where Ring of Honor titles are being defended on their biggest show of the year in New Japan.
Ring of Honor title, the first match.
They got it spread throughout the card. So, but what's funny about that is like New Japan's just like every match has to be for a title. Damn it! Everyone, bring in the Ring of Honor titles.
I wonder where Tony Khan gets it from.
Yeah, Japan's been doing that for years. Like, dude, it's the who gives a crap title that so and so has held for 18 months because nobody else wants it. Like, okay, like Jim Cornette talked about.
Whichever one that Zack Sabre Jr. currently holds is one of the ugliest titles I've ever seen in my life. It's like a huge rectangle.
Oh, God. I think I know what you're talking about. I think that's their... oh, yeah. It's the World Television Championship. Yep. Yeah, their television title is hideous. I'm like... Ugh.
I guess Gunther's IC title look like, like a classic WWF title.
Yeah. Oh, did you see, by the way, at the... Not to go back to this, but at the Forbidden Door 2, when he's making his entrance, he looks in the camera and he goes, "Where's my TMDK music, you morons?"
I saw him say something, but I didn't catch what it was.
Yeah, I had to listen to it a couple times. Somebody like finally figured it out, and I'm listening. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what he is saying. Like, that's funny. They played the wrong music for him.
They probably couldn't license it. He spent all that money on Final Countdown.
Oh God, yeah. We spent the budget on Final Countdown. Damn it.
Whatever song that was that Ospreay used, man, was like badass.
Yeah.
It's called Elevated, I think. I looked it up afterward.
Oh, nice. Well, that does it for the news and notes. So you ready to get into the event?
I actually am, yes.
Yeah, this one was pretty good. So we're going to take our next break. On the other end of this, it's SummerSlam 2014. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Hey gang, it's Commissioner Cooper of TSS Fantasy. We are the fantasy show of the people. Expert fantasy advice, free contests, leading expert medical and legal analysis, and most importantly, you. Interact with us on all social media platforms or check us out at tssfantasy.com. You can hear us on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and many more. Check out the fun today and be a part of the most interactive fantasy show around. TSS Fantasy, the fantasy show of the people.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan McCarthy, and I'm the host of the No Credentials Required podcast. Start your work week with the Monday Drop-In, where I talk about the sports beat in the Capital District, also known as the Mighty 518, as well as Metro New York sports from an upstate point of view. I also give a life lesson from a weekly sports story, so you might learn something from that. I also have a midweek podcast where I interview different sports personalities and talk about a wide array of topics. Take a listen and subscribe on your preferred podcast app, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Also check out our social media channels on Twitter and Instagram, BellyUpNCR, and Facebook.com/BellyUpSportsNCR. We're a part of the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network in association with Godzilla Media. No credentials required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/main event marks. And we're back.
We're back.
It's WWE SummerSlam 2014. Took place August 17th, 2014 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California.
Now called the Crypto.com Arena, which is stupid.
I was about to ask, yeah. That's a horrible name. But
it's the most 2023 name you can get, though.
Right. Well, plus the fact that it's like, who the hell shops at Staples anymore? But the attendance is 17,357. The buy rate was 147,000 buys, and that's on top of it being on the WWE Network. So
that's 147,000 people that were too stupid to know that $10 a month would get you the pay-per-view for free or part of the package, however you want to word it.
Well, and then there's morons like Jim Cornette that's like, I can't figure out how to get WWE Network on my big TV, so I'm just going to pay for the full price on pay-per-view. It's like, shut the F up, man. Like, dude, like, evolve, you old-ass man. Like, good God. Like, my grandparents could figure that crap out better than him.
You know, it's, to be fair, though, he might be able to write it off because it's for a show.
Yeah, right.
But still.
I know that's what, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez said that's what they used to do because that was part of their job, so they wrote it off. But we start the show introducing Hulk Hogan. He puts himself, SummerSlam, WWE, and the WWE Network over. We then get the official show open and all the pyro lights off. And
yeah, I thought Cody was coming out.
Yeah, like, oh no, too soon. Here he's Stardust.
Yes.
You know, that's something
Trying
I
to talk
remember.
about that.
Yeah. But this first match, it is The Miz defending the WWE Intercontinental Title against Dolph Ziggler. It goes about
Mr.
8 minutes.
Zigglesworth.
Oh my God. But The Miz cuts a promo on his way to the ring saying that he's better than all the CGI stuff that Hollywood is doing nowadays. The Miz reverses a Fameasser attempt into a skull-crushing valley for a surprise near fall. After this, Dolph dodges The Miz, hits the zigzag, which I forgot was his finisher because I hadn't seen him in forever, and he pins him to win the IC title. Uncle Dave gives this 2 3/4 stars. I don't know what the hell shaved off that quarter of a star. I gave it an even 3. I love this match. What say you?
Yep, 3.
2 Cleveland boys, too.
Dolph and jerking the curtain at SummerSlam seemed to go like lamb and tuna fish.
Lamb and tuna fish?
Spaghetti and meatballs? You like that analogy better?
Yeah, because if you don't like that, well,
considering we're in America,
yeah,
like that, get the hell out.
That was it. I was
Even though it's
spacing on
Italian.
the whole one. Yeah, right. Freaking love that. But yeah, you get 2 Cleveland boys jerking the curtain for the workhorse title, man. How about that? But we now
Well, one's a Hollywood, Florida guy, one's a Los Angeles guy, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. I liked back when NXT was just like that competition show and Dolph was a judge one time. He just like gave up kayfabe and he wore a Kent State, or I think it was a Kent State hat because he used to go to Kent State.
Yeah, if you don't know, he's got the most pins in wrestling history there.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that enough on TV.
Right. We go backstage with a prepubescent looking Todd Phillips, who was clearly doing the splits here because Brie Bella walks up and is not too much shorter than him. For those that don't remember, I forgot about that being a thing. You remember, like, every once in a while the camera would be too far back and you'd see him, like, doing the splits pretty much.
I saw someone post a meme on Twitter one time of that. So.
Yeah, there was one time he was, like, literally sitting down during an interview, but most of the time they would just have him, like, spread his legs way out so he'd look shorter.
Oh, yeah?
There was one time they accidentally backed the camera up too far when he's interviewing Jericho. And he's damn near doing the splits. I'm like, holy shit. That was hilarious. But,
well, that's an idea. Why don't you just hire someone shorter?
Yeah, or better yet, who gives a damn? Oh, you can't have the interviewer taller than the
he's
wrestler.
taller than everybody.
That's like, why? Like, I don't think anybody would have given a damn. But Todd asks about Stephanie McMahon sending Brie to jail over assault charges. Brie says that the bogus charges were dropped, and she's been reflecting.
Stupid.
I know. I hated this whole thing. She said she's been reflecting on the crap that Stephanie put her family through. So tonight, she's taking her out. Up next, This is actually a Divas match I was looking forward to, not fast forwarding through. It was AJ Lee defending the Divas title against Paige. It goes about 5 minutes. Paige shows at one point that AJ yanked out one of her hair extensions, so Paige pays her back later, pulling one of AJ's out. Paige ends up picking AJ up, only for AJ to turn it into the Black Widow. Somehow, Paige turns that into the Rampage for the win. Uncle Dave gave I think this was the debut of the Rampage. Uncle Dave gives this 2.25. I gave this 2.5 stars. What say you?
How are they missing her not doing something bigger on the show Rampage on AEW?
Yeah, right.
I gave it 2. It wasn't actually that bad.
I like this match. And these two women could actually wrestle on top of looking good. So, yeah, this was in the... Hell yeah. This was during the era where it was like growing pains, where they were going from divas to, like, they could actually wrestle. I think it was it 2015 or 2016 when they actually start, like, giving them real matches? And
I want to say 15. When all the horsewomen debuted, well, except for Bailey.
Was it the Raw after SummerSlam that we went to, where they had that multi-women's match and the crowd just crapped all over it?
I think so.
Yeah, I remember. I couldn't remember what event it was, but I remember it being around that time. I was just like, man, it sucked. But after the match, Paige sits a nearly unconscious AJ up, hugs her, kisses her cheek, and puts a Divas title on her lap. Paige then takes the title and skips off. Up next, it is Rusev with Lana taking on Jack Swagger with Zeb Coulter, a match you could see in AEW nowadays.
I don't want to see anything with Hager in AEW ever. And he is brutal.
Oh, man. But this is a flag match. It goes about 9 minutes. So this aged gracefully. Before the match, Lana dedicates the match to, quote, the world's greatest reality star and true hero, Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
Yikes.
2023, you think that would happen?
Right.
Yeah, this was...
Or as I call him, Vladimir Putin.
Good God. Or as Michael Cole called him, Vladimir Putin.
Oh, you can call him anything you want, but...
Don't call him late to dinner, you know what I'm saying? Good God, just like, wow. This was bad back then. All these years later, they were worse. But Lana then puts down the fantasy Hollywood, saying that Rusev represents reality. Jack Swagger then has actual military guardsmen come out onto the stage with flags and walk him to the ring. He get a jump start before the match, but Swagger gets the advantage and
I thought it was
Patriot lock.
I actually thought it was fair here for a jump start because it was a huge blood feud.
Right. Well, you remember when he started? At first, he called it the Patriot Act, and then they switched it to the Patriot Lock.
Yes, I do.
It's like, I get that the Patriot Act wasn't exactly a popular thing, but who cares? Like, were people like crying over the name of his move? Was it that offensive?
Probably. Everybody's offended by something. You know this.
Yeah. Let's call it the Patriot Lock, pal. Like, oh, shut the F up.
Yes, it is a lock, technically. But...
Yeah. But it's like, I hate that, where like every power bomb has to be called the something bomb, and every, like.
And the cutter.
Yeah. Every submission has to be called the something lock. Like, we get it. It's a lock. It's a move. Or it's a submission hold. But anyway, because of the ankle lock, though, Rusev basically wrestled on one leg. In the end, Rusev locks in the accolade, and Swagger passes out to lose. Uncle Dave gave this 3.25 stars. I give it 2.5. I thought it was good, but not great. What say you?
I gave it 2. He really gave it 3, and what'd you say, a quarter?
Yeah, 3.25.
Hell no.
Yeah, I was like, dude, what? There were a few matches like that where I'm like, dude, like, what the hell were you watching, man? Like, that's a lot. Normally, it goes the other way, where he craps on it. But
this would have been my worst match of the night if one didn't happen after this.
Yeah, right.
You know what it is. I think we're going to be together on that one.
Spot on. Well, after the match, Zeb Coulter checks on Jack Swagger, and Lana demands that Rusev crush. So Rusev does a running kick to Coulter, knocking him the F out. Well,
Lana, if that is your real name.
exactly. Well, you know where he kicked him, Greg.
In the face! In the face!
I like
Got
JBL. I like how JBL was like, "You just kicked our grandfather." Like, okay, cool.
He's got grandkids, damn it.
Yeah. But after this, they raise the Russian flag and play the Russian national anthem. Yikes.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
More
next.
aging gracefully.
Right. Up next, it is Seth Rollins taking on Dean Ambrose in a lumberjack match. Goes just shy of 11 minutes.
Rollins and Plumber Moxley, as we call them.
Good Lord. But I have...
Franklin is my favorite.
So I have Mattel figures of both of these guys in these very outfits. And I normally hate lumberjack matches, so this was just a bit above average for me. I hate them.
There's no reason for this to be a lumberjack match, if I remember correctly.
It was because Seth kept running, so...
Yeah, but still, why can't it just be a cage or something?
Well, shut up, that's why. Well, you know why, Greg?
Me, right?
But these two jump each other from go. They battle up into the crowd at one point. So, so much for them lumberjacks. But
yeah,
they go...
one of my notes is like, what are the purpose of lumberjacks here? And there's something else that's going to happen too. You'd be like, of course.
Yeah. Well, Rollins tries to make a break for it, and he's stopped and brought back to the ring by the lumberjacks, only for Ambrose to dive off the top rope onto all of them outside the ring. Corporate Kane even comes out and interferes. After that, all of the lumberjacks fill the ring and turn it into a giant cluster.
That's my note. There's never a lumberjack match where they don't fight.
Yeah. In the chaos, it is. In the chaos, behind the referee's back, Seth Rollins grabs his Money in the Bank briefcase, blasts Ambrose in the face.
In the face!
In the face! In the face!
And then he pins him to win.
Just remember
Uncle
that
Dave.
was a Marie, by the way.
Yeah, right. Uncle Dave gave this 3 3/4 stars. Damn near 4 stars for this. I gave it 3. I thought it was fine. What say you?
I gave it 3 as well.
Like,
I'm with you. I'm lumberjack
down.
match. Dude, it just, no, I don't need a lumberjack match.
Nah, I'm good, man. Adding more people to it doesn't up the quality. I can't remember one single lumberjack match that I saw and was like, man, that was great. Like, there have been good ones, but ugh. But up next, it is Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho in 12 minutes, 53 seconds. I have a Mattel figure of this Bray Wyatt.
I think I do. I think I have that one too.
I almost forgot about Jericho's light-up jackets. But in the end, Wyatt hits the Sister Abigail into the ringside barricade, hits another in the ring, and wins. This match started pretty slow and then picked up. It was a lot of character work, and it wasn't like a fantastic match or anything. It was all right. Uncle Dave gave it 3 stars. I gave it 2.5. What say you?
Dose.
It was fine. I liked it. It wasn't, I don't know. Bray Wyatt's okay. Like, I like his character work more than anything. His matches are just kind of...
You know why I hated watching this match back?
Huh.
Just seeing Chris Jericho here and what we see now on TV. Like, oh, God.
And, and
dude,
right
he
around...
used to be amazing.
Right.
What the hell happened to you?
And shortly after this is when I felt like he should have stepped away from the ring. I was like, all right, you've peaked. It's time to go home. And nope.
Do you remember that episode of Friends where Ross is watching the dinosaur special?
Yeah.
He's like, what happened, you guys?
For me, it's just like he was one of the best, man, and like for years and years. And then like he got to the tip of the mountain, and then he started like he's about to start his downward trajectory. And now it's like he's been at the bottom of that hill for a couple of years at this point, and he still keeps rolling along. It's
hard to watch.
It is. But after the match, Bray Wyatt leads the crowd in a sing-along of he's got the whole world in his hands. Yeah. And up next, clearly the match of the night here.
Oh, yeah, right here. This is the one, dude.
It is.
I was falling asleep at this event. This is what brought me back.
Exactly. This was the come-up match right here. It's Stephanie McMahon versus Brie Bella.
Not to spoil the ending, but do you remember a minute ago when I told you that would have been my worst match in the card if this match hadn't happened?
Yes.
This is the one I was talking about. I'm pretty sure you know that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this goes 11 minutes.
Between two people who should never have wrestled ever.
Oh.
Also, damn sure.
Yeah, right. The four horsewomen of MMA are seated in the front row at ringside. Partway through the match, Triple H and Nikki Bella come to the ring.
Little did we know that was actually going to play into a WrestleMania segment.
Yeah, right? I know, it's crazy. But Brie reverses a pedigree from Stephanie into a yes lock, but Triple H pulls the referee out of the ring. Brie does a running dropkick to Triple H outside of the ring, taking him out. And then Nikki gets in the ring and in Stephanie's face. Brie gets on the other side of Stephanie. And then Nikki shoves Stephanie aside and forearms Brie in the face.
In the face! In the face!
Got it in again. Stephanie McMahon then hits the pedigree on Brie Bella to get the pinfall win. Uncle Dave gave this 2.5 stars, to which I ask, what the F were you watching, man? I give it 1.5 stars. What say you?
Wait, how many did you give it?
2.5 stars.
Oh. Well, I guess it's not that egregious, but I gave it 1.
Going on the normal scale of 0 to 5, that means he thinks this is average. Really? Like,
maybe like for them on a curb, but
dude, Uncle Dave was in a good mood this night. All right, he
might have been there. To be fair,
oh, that's true.
It's only a 5-hour drive, so there's that.
Yeah, I don't know if he was there or not, but yeah, he very well might have been. But yeah, dude, he was grading everything like way higher than normal. Like, he didn't crap on any of this stuff, which blew my mind.
You would think this event was in the shadow of Japan or something.
Yeah, right? Not in the Staples Center, it's in the Tokyo Dome. But after the match, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon pose over top of Brie Bella, taunting her. Nikki looks conflicted at ringside before taking off. Yeah, and this leads to the wonderful "I wish you would have died in the womb" promo.
Yep.
That was masterful. Like, this whole
I
thing.
got flashbacks to this one. It looked like the Usos were going to break up, and they were having to take sides with Roman.
Yeah. Yep. Except that one was good.
Yeah, right.
This, like, good lord, like, it was gross. You think about in like a couple of years, we get Nikki telling Brie, "I wish you would have died in the womb," and then Paige bringing up Charlotte Flair's dead brother. Like, not too far apart from each other, man. Like, who the F was writing this stuff?
Bro, not me.
Maybe it was the people that were referring to the one Indian writer as Taliban.
Oh, God. You had to bring that back.
A shout out. That's a callback to the news there. Yeah, I'm just saying, if that stuff is true, sheds a lot of light on the people who are writing this garbage. But anyway,
That doesn't
up next.
explain the Taliban thing, though, right?
Well, hey, it's
You don't write.
people.
That's like apparently legitimately happening, right?
I mean, it's a rumor that they call him Taliban, but I'm just saying if it's true, then they're it's just distasteful people. That
I would go further as call pieces of shit.
Yeah, that is one big pile of shit. There you go.
No, it's not.
That.
Well, apparently, we don't know. Again, allegedly, but
yeah, right.
Allegedly,
might not have happened. I'm hoping it didn't, but
yeah, fingers
crossed. Have your fun in hell.
I want the spit. Anyway, up next, it is Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns in 16.5 minutes. In the end, Roman Reigns dodges a punt kick, hits a spear on Orton, and wins.
More like a field goal, but whatever.
Yeah, right. Uncle Dave gave this 4 stars. I gave it 3. What say you?
I gave it 3.
4 stars? I'm like,
this may be
good.
This may be the closest you and I have ever been on an event.
Right, yeah, I think so. I'm just like, wow. Like, Uncle Dave loved this damn match. I mean, it was good, don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, I've seen better out of both these guys. It was good. I don't know. I honestly think if and when Randy Orton returns, we could get a better match out of these two now.
I was gonna say we're a decade later, and now it could be argued that Rowan might be the better wrestler between these two.
Yeah, right. Definitely going to have the most storied career out of the two by the time they're done. And
They
Randy
just
Orton
saw
ain't no
wrestling
slouch.
now.
Yeah, right. But that takes us to our second to last break. On the other end of this, we're getting into that main event, and boy, what a doozy it was. Right after this. Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas, and what's your name?
I'm Alan. Yeah. We're brothers.
That's right.
Yeah. Same mother and father.
Your room was...
we shared the room.
Shared a room?
We shared the room.
Thought I knew your face.
Yeah, we go way back, mate. Yeah.
We should do a podcast then.
We have.
We do a podcast?
We do a podcast.
What's it called?
The Broadcast. Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah. Well,
what do we do?
Well, we cover all different things in the world of pop culture. We're talking about comic books, we're talking about professional wrestling, and we're talking about movies. Go back and watch classic retro wrestling events, the likes of WWE, WCW, and if you do like that, you can check us out on Apple iTunes, also on Podbean, Anchor, and on Podknife. Also check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast. That's BROKAS. There. Nearly stuffed up the ending.
No, it's all right. Good on you.
Yeah. Instagram also at The Broadcast Podcast.
Remember, we don't spell it with a C. We spell it with a K.
Sorry, mate.
Take it easy.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. And we're back.
We're back.
Main event time. John Cena defends that WWE World Heavyweight title. So he has 2 belts here 10 years later, and we just got over this again. He's defending against Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman.
Ironically, it was Brock who started the whole 2-belt thing right now.
Right.
He lost to Roman. So.
Yep. And this goes for 16 minutes, 5 seconds. So Brock hits an F5.
You know what's funny? I remember the whole outcome of this match and everything, but I don't remember it being this long.
Yeah, same here. I remember it being like a 5-minute squash, and I was like, wow, I was wrong. I mean, it is kind of a squash, but not nearly to the point that I thought. But Brock hits an F5 in the opening minute of the match, but Cena kicks out. Cena manages to nail an attitude adjustment for a near fall at one point. Later on...
I remember watching this live and thinking that was it. Like, oh, man, he won.
I know, because I was like, dude, this again, because Cena always did that. He would get his shit kicked in for like 10 minutes, and then he'd do like a miraculous comeback and win. I'm like, what the hell? But alas, didn't happen. But when it looks like Cena's just about dead, he catches Lesnar in the STF, a la Frank Mir. But Lesnar turns it into a ground and pound. Brock then picks Cena up, hits another F5, and wins. During the course of this match, Lesnar hit 16 suplexes and 2 F5s on John Cena. Brock absolutely mauled him.
And I think we've already established that Suplex City wasn't even a thing yet.
Yeah, about to be, but yeah. Dude,
Same state.
Right. I remember watching this. I had not watched this show since I watched it live. So, like, you know, you and I were talking about, I remember it being different. I just remember watching this just being stunned. I was like, wow.
It was a complete rout.
Right. And according to John Cena, or Brock Lesnar, rather, this was all John's idea. Like, John was like, oh, no, you gotta beat my ass. You just beat The Undertaker. Like, what if I go out there and have a competitive match against you and almost beat you, like, then what? Like, I mean, I get it. But check this out, dude. Uncle Dave gave this 4.25 stars for an ass whooping. I gave it 3. What say you?
I gave it 3 as well.
Yeah. You and I were almost dead on balls accurate, like, on all this stuff about this card. But that's another My Cousin Vinny reference for all of you out there. Anybody that's been listening long enough, you know that our affinity for that movie.
Anybody that... Oh, everything that guy just said.
Exactly. But, yeah. It's just 4.25 stars? Like, what? I mean, sure, there was some drama.
Are we grading in terms of squashes?
Yeah, right. Like in that case,
I'll give it like 5 for that, but not as a match.
I guess if you're grading on the fact that you were shocked that this happened, sure, I could see that. But yikes, man.
Yikes.
Paul Heyman slides into the ring with the 2 world titles and gets on his knees to basically praise Lesnar. They leave together while Heyman hypes Brock up to close the show. And that takes us to our final break. On the other end of this, we're getting into final ratings, telling you what's coming next week and next month on the podcast. Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
What's up, everybody? I am the hardest part of the ring, the host of the Apron Bump podcast. Ugh. Another wrestling podcast. How many times can I listen to fans tell me who needs a push, who doesn't need a push, who brings Vince's coffee these days? Enough! The Apron Bump is about the journey. It's about nostalgia. It's about discovering new forms of wrestling to really tickle your pickle as a wrestling fan. The podcast brings you reviews of wrestling events all over the world, whether it's WWF, WWE, WCW, ECW. We even cover the golden eras of Ring of Honor, Progress, TNA, and more promotions in the future as well. New episodes every Wednesday. Bump Day, yeah? Go to apronbump.com or go to your favorite podcast platform or YouTube and subscribe today for the most diverse, fan-friendly wrestling podcast in the world. I'm Hard.
Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. And we're back.
We're back.
Final ratings time here. Internet Movie Database gives us, I'm pretty close to these guys as well. Internet Movie Database gives us 7.3 out of 10. CageMatch.net gave it 7.33 out of 10. I give it a 7.5 out of 10 for C+. What say you?
B-.
You said B-?
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, pretty close. C+, B- right in there. It was a good it had enough matches on there where I was like, oh, wow. I was a little shocked that Dolph beat The Miz. That ending was obviously a shock. Most of the other matches...
Miz.
Most of the other matches were pretty good. So there you go. Nothing mind-blowing except the result of that main event. But all in all, pretty good show. So that does it for August, man. We are done. That takes us into September. And we're kind of spreading it all around with September. Spreading the love.
Yeah, we're going to drop a huge crap bomb on the end of September. But
but we're opening it up on September 6th, next week, with ECW Anarchy Rules 1999.
ECW.
Believe it or not, that may be one of our better shows of the month. So
I haven't watched it back yet, so
yeah, I'm just going off of what we got booked later on. September 13th, we're bringing you WCW Fall Brawl 1993. That one ends with a random ass War Games match where the Shockmaster is in it. So, yeah. And Rick Rude and Ric Flair face off for the International World Heavyweight title, which sounds redundant because it is.
There's a whole story behind that. Maybe we'll get into that. Let's see.
Yeah, right. And no, this is going to upset Honky Tonk Man, but it does not involve Rick Rude's dong. So
does it involve Space Mountain?
Oh man, yeah. Hashtag Rick Rude's dong. Hashtag Space Mountain. There you go. Get that going. They're gonna have a jousting contest in the ring. Oh God. Anyway, our double main event week is actually going to be on September 20th. We bring you a TNA No Surrender 2012. We have not done a TNA show in months. Well, actually, the June bonus is NWA TNA's first anniversary show, but this is the first one we've done in a while. Yeah,
I think we just dropped that bomb, didn't we?
At our time now of recording, yes. But that this will be our first one in 4 months, something like that. But it's involving Jeff Hardy and Bully Ray and the.
Yeah, we can go wrong with those two, huh? Without their partners.
Right? Yeah, right. The Bound for Glory series. And the bonus show that week is Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor 16. The main event of this one is Jay Lethal defending the Ring of Honor World Title against Will Ospreay. We've also got a 10-man match involving Bullet Club Elite taking on Chaos from New Japan. Bully Ray is on this card. Punishment Martinez is on this card, defending the TV title against Chris Sabin. That should be a great match. The Women of Honor title is defended. The Ring of Honor tag titles are defended. So, also, we talked about this. Under 2 different tag team names, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels are in both shows that week. So is Bully Ray. But that's the bonus show. We're wrapping up the month of September, though. September 27th with WCW Fall Brawl 2000. Yeah. Main event of that one is Kevin Nash taking on Booker T in a caged heat match, which was Vince Russo's way of doing the frickin' Hell in a Cell. Because, he can't
not War Games at the Fall Brawl, but.
Right.
Which whatever.
Blows my mind. Because he's like, bro, we can't do War Games. We got to rip off Hell in a Cell. And then he gets to TNA and he's like, bro, we got to rip off War Games. Good grief. Guy's an idiot. Like, if you guys haven't picked up on it yet, what we think of him in this podcast, we think he's an idiot. So there's that. But all right, man, I think that wraps it up for today. And this is coming up next month. Thank you for joining me today, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you all next week. And next month, we're officially into September, and fall's about to start. Yay. We'll be hitting you with ECW Anarchy Rules 1999.